Good day, this is Joshua Baker, the owner of Cinderella's Wedding DJs and Event Services. And with the new year comes a new era of my career. And that is the product review era, because not too long ago, these guys right here, Phenyx, contacted me about reviewing one of their microphone systems. I said yes, and they sent me the Phenyx Pro PTU-52 1H 1B microphone system. It's 2 channels, so you can run 2 different microphones at the same time. Now this retails on the Phenyx website for $109.99, so this is way less expensive than my typical microphones. My microphones are $1,000 or more because I value quality, right? So let's see if this is hidden quality at $109.99. They want an honest review. I am not getting paid for this. This is not a sponsored video. I'm not sponsored by Phenyx. So it's going to be a completely honest review. All right. So like I said, this is a dual wireless microphone system. It's in the 500 to 590 megahertz band. They claim crystal clear audio from the cardioid pickup pattern. They also claim, and again, I said claim, 200 feet of range and 8 hours of battery life. Are you kidding me? 8 hours of battery life is insane. I usually get about 6 out of my microphone, so to see 8 on there was a little bit of a head turn, to be honest with you. So they're honest about the reviews. I will say that. They don't scrub them. They get 4.2 on their own website. So that says something about their integrity. So we're going to do a few different things with this. We're going to go unbox it in a minute. Then we're going to test it out. And my criteria is going to be range, line of sight, sound quality, and ease of use, and maybe there'll be a few other things peppered in there as well. So it's going to be an honest review. Let's go check out the Phenyx Pro PTU-52 1H 1B. Let's get to unboxing. All right, we've got the plastic off. Let's see what's really inside the box. The first thing we've got is your owner's manual. Comes with every product, I would assume. Then we have our microphone. This is the handheld microphone. Again, cardioid microphone. You can set your channel here, and it actually has its own volume control on the microphone. Pretty sweet. Looks like it takes AA batteries. Provided. Excel batteries, again, never heard of them, probably wouldn't use them. I'm going to stick to my Energizers and Duracells personally. So we can put this back on. We'll use those for the demo, I think. Further, we have our microphone receiver. That feels plastic to me. I was expecting a metal, well, looks like it's a plastic metal combination. Volume controls on the unit. Power button. On the back, we've got XLRs out, one for each microphone. Looks like we've got a mix out for a 1/4 inch, place for power, and then, of course, where we put our antennas. I like that they give you the longer antenna. Other microphone companies don't actually do that. You get the smaller ones, and it's up to you to buy the longer ones, so that goes on there. And while we're at it, we'll put this one on too. Little 1/4 turn there. It's actually not a bad looking unit. I like that. So we'll just set that right over there next to Mr. Knife and the batteries. What we have here, this, if you didn't know, you put on your handheld microphone. And I don't love these. I don't ever use them myself. See if I can get it on there. And it just goes on here like that. I don't like it. It just makes it weird. But basically what it does here is it just doesn't roll off the table now. Somebody puts it down and roll off the table. I never have this problem. I appreciate it. Good looking out, but we're just gonna try and take that thing off of there. So you get one of these, I don't know, use it, don't use it. So put that microphone down. We have our body pack rather. And it's not too bulky, kind of slim. You know, I don't mind that. Again, I believe this is going to take AA batteries if I knew how to. There it is. Yes, AA batteries. You can set your channel on this as well. It has its own volume control, which is pretty nice. I like being able to not have to be right where my mixer or my speaker is to be able to change the volume. Hopefully that works well with good range. And here it is, baby. The cheesy headset. I know some of you guys out there use these. I'm not trying to dog you or anything like that, but I mean, I don't know, man. This just isn't me. It's just not me. So, I mean, I don't know. Do you wear these things? Is this your style? Doing weddings? Fighter pilot? Huh? This your thing? I don't know. It might be your thing. It might not be. It's not my thing. I guess I'll still try it out, but I guess it's good to have. You know, I don't know. Maybe this will work out for some future YouTube videos. So we'll set that aside there. And yes, it does come with its very own lapel mic. It's got its own cover. I love these, little windscreen there. So that's nice. Hopefully this works out. I'd love to be able to use this for ceremonies. It also comes with a windscreen for your handheld microphone. So we'll just go ahead and put that on. There we go. Now we're starting to look professional. So we'll set that right there. Here's your power supply. Pretty standard looking power supply there. Yeah, pretty standard. Now what's in this here? Oh, this is nice. So if you want to come out of the back here and plug in, let's just take this apart. You can go 1/4 inch out for that mix out to 1/4 inch. So if you got a videographer there that just wants audio from the microphone only, this is perfect for them. They can go 1/4 inch. If they really need to, you can go down to headphone jack. And then I actually have my own adapter where I can go 1/4 inch to XLR if they need that as well. That doesn't come with this, but it's nice to have. You know, keep that in your pack. You're gonna make a lot of videographers very happy. So that appears to be everything in the box. Empty box. So to recap, we have a receiver with volume knobs. We're going to plug this in just a moment and boot it up. We have our power here in the back. We have our antennas, the big ones. I love those. We have balance B, balance A, XLR outputs for each individual microphone channel. Mix out, so I'm assuming that's both microphones mixed together. So you can send that signal via 1/4 inch to your videographer. We have the handheld microphone, the battery pack, or I'm sorry, the body pack, power, a lapel mic, and a headset. All for $109.99. All right, so we're still in the office, so we're not really going to be able to test out range here, but we are going to kind of get a feel for these microphones while I'm right here. The first thing I did is I hooked up both channels, both XLRs, to a Bose S1 Pro speaker. As you can tell, the display here is actually quite excellent. I like that a lot. So we're going to go ahead and show you that there's the volume knobs here. We've already got it powered up, and now we've got our frequencies right there as well. So I'm going to go ahead and set this down, and I'm going to pick up the microphone. All right, so I have this muted right now. There is a battery meter. I love having that right on the microphone. We'll unscrew it, and if we'd like to set the channel, you just go ahead and hit the set button. We're at 522.1 now. We're gonna hit it again, switch out a few frequencies here. It'll bounce back. It's now 523.6. And it automatically synced to the receiver right here. I love not having to sync that, so big ups to you on that, Phenyx. Big negative, though, is not being able to scan frequencies. Love to be able to scan frequencies because right now it's kind of like set it and pray, or set it, see if there's some interference, maybe set it again. So definitely having a channel scanner would be awesome. Also here, there is volume on the microphone, but it is covered up when you put that back on. So it's nice, it's convenient, but it's also inconvenient. So it's conveniently inconvenient. All right, so let me unmute this microphone, and we're gonna find out that this mic actually has pretty good sound. I'm pretty impressed because this is going directly into the back of the speaker and not through any kind of an equalizer or board or anything like this. This is raw. This is exactly how this sounds. So I actually like that quite a bit. Okay, you can mute it. Now we have our body pack. It also has volume control right in the body pack. So that is conveniently convenient. All right, and then you can set your channels here as well. It does the same thing as the handheld microphone. It automatically syncs to the receiver. So let me go ahead and put this on. We'll put it up kind of tall. And to unmute it, just right at the power button. And here we go. We have ourselves a lapel mic that also sounds pretty good quality. All right. I don't usually use a lot of lapel mics. I'm going to bring the volume down here just a little bit. But this one actually sounds pretty good. I messed with it a little bit before we got on camera here. It was getting a little bit of interference, but nothing right now. And it was just that little like tss interference, you know, like it wasn't cutting out, but it was just like every once in a while you're, and maybe I found the right channel. Maybe that's just a matter of messing around with the frequencies because we don't have an auto scan. Maybe I found the right one right now. So this sounds pretty good so far. Now give me a moment. We're going to put that headset on. All right, so I've got the body pack. This is where the connector plugs in for a headset and for the lapel mic for that matter. Goes in real easy to take it off. There's a little button right here, okay? Just push that button in and take it off. Just push it back in. Set the pack down there. Let's put this headset on. Here we go. Now I'm feeling good. Ready to sell you a ShamWow. All right, so let's see what this sounds like right here. We'll bring the volume up. Check, check. Ooh, this is fun. I like this. This sounds really good. I think the distance on the microphone being right in front of the mouth actually gives a great enhancement, as you'd expect, to how this sounds. But I do like the way the headset sounds. Again, I'm kind of messing with the microphone. And see, there was a little something there. Might have to do a little frequency exchange here. So let's do that. We'll set it here. We're at 532. Bring it up to 532.8. As you can see, it has not synced yet. How long is this going to take to sync? Is it going to sync? Ah, there it is. So this took a little bit more time to sync automatically, but it does do it. And it seems like I'm not getting that static that I was getting a moment ago. So you're going to have to mess with the channels. Again, would love an auto scan, but if you mess with the channels enough, I think you're going to be able to get a good frequency. I might have got a little something going on there. But otherwise, it seems like it's pretty good. So we'll see what it does in further ranges because I'm literally 3 feet away from the receiver right now. One of my favorite venues has allowed me to use their space so that I can show you the range of this microphone. So I want to thank them. I'm going to keep their name out of it just to avoid any kind of conflict. And we're going to test out what this microphone can really do, both in line of sight and without line of sight. Okay, so we're going to start with the handheld microphone. The end of this room is 70 feet. You can add another 40 feet with the next room over, and that's going to give us a total of 110 feet. I don't have 200 feet to work with, so let's hope that we can at least push this thing to 110 feet line of sight. We're going to call this 35 feet, no problem. With a great sound, especially in this room, we've got 70 feet just fine. We'll call this right about here, 90 feet of line of sight, even with my back to it. And we'll finish up with 110 feet. Now I'm going to go a little bit further. We're going to call this 113, 16, 19, 122, 125. We have still line of sight at about 30 feet. I'm going to go out of line of sight. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24, 27, 30, 33, 36, 39, and an additional 40 feet. Since I'm not in the room, I could not tell you what happened there. So we'll see if out of line of sight actually works. At 80 feet, no line of sight, and it seems to work. So I am liking what the handheld is doing. We're gonna have to go back and look at the footage first before we find out if it made it all the way down to the end of the building without any drops. That's the handheld. Let's check out the lapel mic. All right, so I'm all wired up with lapel mic now. We're gonna do pretty much the same thing. We're gonna go about 35, 70, add another 40 for 110, then we'll go more into a non-line of sight kind of situation. This is about 35 feet, that's picking up just fine. And 70 feet also feels good. How 90 feet? 90 feet seems all right. We're gonna be checking the video because there is a little bit of an echo to these rooms, so it almost sounds like the microphone's working, maybe if it's not working. Here is 110 feet line of sight. Now we're gonna go out of sight about 20 feet. Here's 10 more feet. Here's 10 more feet. So we're looking pretty good here at about 110, 130 feet, 130 feet here. About 150 and 70 feet and out of line of sight. I mean, if I'm not being heard in this video. All right, so I definitely feel like the body pack is getting a lot less range than the handheld microphone, and that's okay. I've always found that to be the case with lapel mics for some reason, or body pack mics, if you will. So we're gonna try the headset. It's probably gonna have the exact same outcome because the body pack's exactly the same. All right, like I said, I'm not really expecting a huge difference from the headset mic, from the lapel mic, because the body pack is still the exact same mic. But just to be thorough, at 35 feet, we are good. As you can hear, there's some pops and things coming from interference that's happening with this body pack, so I don't think I've for ceremonies. It's 7 feet, we're still shining. We're gonna be good at 90 feet. And again, 110 feet. Now, out of line of sight. We're gonna be 20 feet out of line of sight here. So it's 130, let's 10, 40, or all right, so clearly the handheld microphone performed better than the headset and the lapel mic because the body pack's exactly the same. Now you hear those pops that are going on right there? That's coming from this transmitter right here, and that's why it would be amazing to have a channel scanner so that we get the clearest possible channels. So that is one demotion for this microphone setup. It's a great system though. It does sound really, really good. It's just that you gotta have a good there. You know, it's got to be reliable and you don't want to have those pops like that. Now, one thing I could do is I could go over there and I could start messing with the channels. It's going to take a lot longer to dial one in, and then even then, you're still kind of just praying that, you know, that channel holds up. So don't love that. I don't like the popping, but otherwise, like for smaller gatherings, I think this could actually work out really well. All right, so now I have a digital audio recorder hooked up to the mix out on the back of the receiver itself. We're gonna test that out. I have the headset on going to the body pack, so we're gonna use that, and we're also gonna turn on my microphone here. So I will go ahead and do both, check, check. I'm gonna cover this mic, check, check. Cover this mic, check, 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 and so on. So we're gonna find out exactly how that recorded. Hopefully that sounds great as well, and it did pick up both channels as promised. So I will go ahead and do both, check, check. I'm gonna cover this mic, check, check. Cover this mic, check, 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 check. All right, so the digital recorder did pick up both mics with great sound, but it was in mono. I'm not sure if that was the output signal or if that was my recorder. Either way, it did still sound good. So if a videographer wants to tap in, it's a great option for them. Now, let's sum it all up for you, okay? The Phenyx Pro PTU-52 1H 1B. Let's talk about range. I'm giving it a 2 out of 5, all right? The handheld is significantly better than the body pack, but I'm not feeling 200 feet. It feels like 50 to 70 tops on the body pack, and maybe 70 to 100, maybe 120 on the handheld is within reason. So, I mean, that's a decent range for small events. So I'm gonna give it a 2 out of 5. The packaging says 200 feet. I really think it's more 70 to 120, depending on your atmosphere. Now, line of sight, 3 out of 5. You heard the cracks, you heard the pops. We can't ignore it, all right? The PTU-52 did a little bit better than I thought it would. Again, the handheld was supreme to the body pack, all right? 100% the handheld was way better than the lapel mic. But in, smaller areas, I think you can get that lapel mic to work. You just really have to work with those frequencies, all right? Now, sound quality. This was actually a big win for me. These are not tinny sounding microphones. I thought they might be. And they also didn't have too much bass either. They really kind of rode in the pocket, what I think is the sweet spot. So I really like the vocal sound representation that they actually produce. So I'm giving sound quality a 5 out of 5. All right. Ease of use. I would have given the Phenyx PTU-52 a higher score if they had a channel scan. So I'm putting it 3.5 out of 5. The auto sync on the channel is super nice. That makes it really easy there. But having to dial that in on 30 pre-selected channels only to hope that you got it right, it just adds a little bit too much stress for me. All right? So out of a potential 20 points, it's a 13.5. Or if you divide that in half, a 6.75 out of 10. Or to compare it to a 5-star rating, a 3.37 out of 5. In comparison to their 4.2 that still stands, it's a little bit lower, but it's an entry-level mic in my opinion. So, like I said, this is a really nice entry-level microphone as long as you know its limitations. Just be aware that the body pack can have some connection issues, and the handheld is the meat and potatoes of the 3 options for microphones. So, if you are new to DJing, small events, need a microphone that sounds really good, then the Phenyx PTU-52 1H 1B is a great option, especially with a price point of only about $110. So thank you for watching my product review of the Phenyx PTU-52 1H 1B, and I will see you at the next one.